Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy Jay, aka The Strategy, aka Mama. There goes that man again, aka I'm so disrespectful, aka the man by many names. And you guys tuning into another Walking Dead review show. Before we get into all of that, I just said a few things. First and foremost, thank everybody who sent me get well wishes. I really appreciate that, you guys. And as you can tell, feeling much better. For everybody who's inboxing me, asking me why I didn't do the second review for the second episode, honestly, it's because of my camera. Something loopy, and I actually did record it. I just couldn't upload it onto YouTube, and by now it really doesn't make any sense. So I'm just doing it now. So, but y'all didn't come here for all that or to see my beautiful face. You came here to watch the Walking Dead review. So let's start it off. Let's skip through all the bullshit. Okay. By this time, everybody in the prison is sick, and we see Rick and Tyrese. You know, they did their thing. I'm gonna let y'all be the decider. Anywho, fast forward to they gotta go on a run. They gotta go on an outing. So Michonne walks up to Daryl and she's like, "Hey, I'll go with you." You know, it's just like the old days, which lets me know before the group got bigger, it was just like Michonne and Daryl, which is pretty cool because I ain't gonna even lie. If Michonne and Daryl had a baby, even though I know that's impossible because Michonne would never cheat on me and I would kill Daryl. She walks up to Daryl and says, "Hey, you know, I'll go get it such and such." And Daryl's like, "You know, I'm glad to have you back." He's like, she's like, "Where else would I be?" And he was like, "Well, not here." And she's like, "What is that supposed to mean?" And he's like, "Nothing." Which lets me know that Michonne has been chasing the governor for quite some time. That we don't know where he at, and she's really been on his ass, but apparently the trail went cold and everybody else just like, "All right, well, fuck it, he not bothering us, so we ain't gonna bother him." And Michonne is like, "No, I'm going to kill him." So anywho, they bring the other black guy, which I don't know his name, the medic guy who got the white kid killed in the first episode. They bring him along, and they bring him along, and Daryl ends up bringing him along. It's like, "We need you," and he was like, "Why me?" Because he kind of realizes that the kid dying in the first episode was really his fault. Because if he would have never dropped the fucking bottle, then would never made the noise, would never hurt the walkers, the kid might still be alive. But he kind of knows his fault. He's like, "Why me?" And Daryl like picks the paper and is like, "You know this word?" And he reads it. He's like, "That's why. Yeah, we need you." And Tyrese, basically his sister is basically sick, and she's not doing good, and he's already mad because his love's dead, and him and Rick, you know, they did their thing, and he's distracted. Daryl realized this is like, "Hey, look, you can't sit here and guard this. If you really want to help, come with us and help us find the medicine." And he basically just tells Daryl the first time, "Hey, fuck off, I'm not moving," because he does have a point. The last time they left the sick by themselves, they came back and somebody had burned the bodies of them, even though we found out who did that in this episode. So Daryl's like, "Whatever, man, the car's out front. If you still want to go, we'll be there." So he walks off, and you know, Tyrese is really going through some shit. He's almost like a ticking time bomb at this point. Like, he's like suicidal, like, you know. So meanwhile, they show Maggie talking to her little sister, and you know, she's like, Glenn's in there. So Maggie starts breaking down, and her little sister kind of brings her back in. She's like, "Hey, you know, we all have jobs we have to do. You know, we all have jobs we have to do. Focus on the job. You know, let's get it in." And I would never think that she would be the one that's most grounded than Maggie. And Maggie's like, "You know what, you're right." So Herschel is he goes outside, and him and Carl has. So they fast forward, so they cut to a scene to Herschel, and he's in the office, and he picks up a cup, and I think the cup said, "What would Jesus do?" And which was very symbolic to what he was about to do, because he actually tries to go outside and get this leaf to make a tea to help like the people feel better, because you got to understand that it's not just the walking virus they have to worry about. It's like this super strain flu virus now that is killing motherfuckers. So he goes out and he picks the berries or whatever they were, the leaves to make the tea, and him and Carl actually go. And Carl's like, I'm patrolling, hey, I gotta go with you. So they go with each other and they get surrounded by walkers, and they're not surrounded to the point to where they have to actually kill something. And Hirsch like it's real peaceful out here. It's almost safer to be out here than it is inside those walls. And Carl's like, no, it's not. He's like, it's war out here. And Herschel and Carl are talking, and Herschel like, well, your dad gave you your gun back. I think that it did you some good to step back for a little minute. And Carl's like, yeah, I guess so, but it can't be like that all the time. Which I'm starting to see that the younger people, like Carl, Maggie's little sister, and somewhat Carol, are very grounded, because Carl realizes, yeah, that was nice, but in the world we live in, it can't be like that all the time. It's impossible to be like that all the time. So that was a nice little contrast to see that Carl really has grown up, because the last season he just kind of turned into a cold-blooded killer. This season he's kind of balanced. I would like to say he's half Rick, half Shane. He's balanced very much. So him and Herschel, they walk back into the prison, and Tyrese, he was talking with his sister, and she's not doing good, so he decides to go on the run with Michonne, the black guy, and Daryl. So they go on the run, and lo and behold, they run into a whole bunch of fucking walkers. And I'm talking about like thousands of them. I wouldn't say millions, but it was thousands of them, like a baseball stadium of walkers. And they hear a voice over the radio before then, and this is what caught Daryl off guard. He ended up crashing walkers, so he tried to back over all of them. And he ended up like rolling over them, and the back wheel got stuck, and he wasn't able to get out. So Michonne and Daryl, like I said, those are the only two people when the shit hits the fan I never worry about. So I wasn't worried about them. I was worried about Tyrese and the black guy. Michonne and Daryl, they handle business. They get, Daryl's like, hey, we're heading towards the woods. Michonne's like, go. Michonne gets out, clear the way for Daryl. Daryl goes through the sunroof. Him and Michonne are at the woods. It's fucking Tyrese and the black guy, where they waited so long. The black guy finally gets out, and he did all right for his first outing. But I would expect him to be a little bit more confident, because in here they do say that he was in the army and he was a medic in the army. So I just expect him to know a little more combat-ish, a little bit more technical. But hey, but as they go to the thing, Tyrese stays in the car and is like, he doesn't want to go, and then I guess the black guy steady yelling his name, like, come on. So he finally gets out the car, and he goes apeshit. Like he takes down a lot of walkers by himself. Make a long story short, Daryl, Michonne, and the black guy's like, hey, hey, this motherfucker Tyrese yelling, go, get out of here. So Daryl's like, all right, let's go. So they go. Daryl's like, hold on. They get to a certain point, and Tyrese did make it. But we don't know if he's bitten at this point. It could be a chance that he is. I mean, last time we seen him, before Daryl and them ran off, he was surrounded by walkers. And for the looks of it, it looks like he got out of it. But hey, you never know. So they go back to the prison, and we see Rick basically investigating who burned up the bodies. I don't know how he figured it out, I guess from the blood and the scar, but he basically figured out Carol, look, spoiler alert, fuck that. Carol burned the bodies. And he goes to her and he asked her, hey, did you burn the bodies? And she said, yeah. Do you guys think that Carol was right in burning the bodies? First of all, let me just say this. We don't know if they were dead when she burned them. She could have killed them and then burned them, or they could have already been dead and then she burned them. We don't know. And what really makes this more emotional, we seen Carol kind of break down because, Tyrese was in love with one of the females who got burned the fuck up. And before he left, he went to Carol and got on an emotional tip and was like, hey, I want you to look after, my sister, because I know how you are. You're a very caring person. And we saw Carol kind of get emotional once he walked away. Like, so is she showing emotional? Is she mad because she thought by killing them that maybe she would stop the spread of the virus and it didn't? And she's now regretting killing them because it didn't matter anyway? Or does she showing some emotional because, like I said, we don't know if she killed them and then set them on fire or if they were dead first. And that brings a whole element into it that we don't know, because Rick knows that she killed him. Matter of fact, when he asked her, she didn't deny it. She just came out and said, yeah, I did, and walked away. So, what do I think is going to happen on the next episode? I think Rick is starting to get back in the position to where he's going to basically take back control of the group. Right now, you don't have any leadership in the group. Like, there's a council set up, but there's no real leadership, somebody head of the council where everybody can just look at that person. So you got people like Carol and people who are just making their own decisions, just saying, hey, I think this is for the better of the group. Because if, no matter which way you slice it, if she felt like they were a threat, was it wrong or was it right? I don't know. I mean, me personally, I don't know. So, that was an episode. It ended with her walking away, and that was it. That's how they ended the episode. So, anyhow, you guys leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you think Carol was wrong. Tell me, I mean, I kind of expected Carol from the jump. Carol has become more of a leader than any of them. Maybe you guys may think she was wrong. I don't know, man. But leave a comment. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me if you like the episode, man. As you can see, wearing my Cardinals hat, go Cards, St. Louis to the death, baby. But you guys didn't come here for that. But leave a comment. Tell me what you guys think of the episode, and tell me what you guys think coming up next, man. Thanks to y'all so much for watching the videos. Really appreciate it. Thank everybody for sending me those good get well soon. Really appreciate it, man. So, if my camera don't fuck up, there's definitely gonna be another review next week. So I'm signing off, man. Konnichiwa, bitches.